we are in the next one. That was fast. it's like I'm hitting record and like hitting record again. All right, so
welcome, ladies and
part
gentlemen,
9.
to another Lore of League of Legends episode. Now we have the city-states gone and covered, it's time to move on to the lore of the champions themselves.
Let's go, amen.
This is where it starts to get interesting, as everyone has their favourites and their hates. So to kick it all off, I'm going to present to you the lore of Annie and Amumu. Enjoy. Annie Housester is the child of two powerful mages who left their home city-state of Noxus due to a disagreement between themselves and the Noxian High Command.
Okay.
The High Command had just quelled a coup by the self-proclaimed Crown Prince and had begun to strongly attack all forms of opposition against their rule.
Didn't she kill her parents? I feel like she killed her parents by mistake, like she burned them down or something like that. Or maybe it wasn't by mistake.
Not everyone had been comfortable with the actions of the High Command over the years that had passed. There was a group called the Grey Order who didn't agree with what the government had been doing and at the cost that it had brought to them.
Okay.
This was considered to be opposing the ruling council, and the Order was sentenced to exile. Due to their main occupation of studying arcane arts, they didn't try to rectify the situation. They simply decided to leave the city-state without further quarrel, and making their way to the unfriendly Voodoo lands located past the Barrier Mountains that range from the east coast all the way to the western shores of the continent.
Okay.
The situation wasn't ideal, and it was a grueling task to set up a colony on the unfriendly and deadly environments of the Voodoo lands. Yet somehow the Grey Order had managed it where many others previously had failed. The Noxian outcasts were doing rather well for themselves considering the circumstances. Years after the Exodus, the married couple that led the Grey Order, Gregory the Great Warlock and his wife Ameline, the Shadow Witch, were blessed with a child.
Blessed. Cursed.
Both her parents were powerful spellcasters, and thus their child was expected to be blessed with such power as well. But there was something special about the young girl.
She was crazy as fuck. That's so special about her. She was fucking mad. Oh my god. Look at her. Evil child. Evil child.
Perhaps it was a combination of her lineage and the twisted magic in the Voodoo lands, or perhaps there was something else to it entirely. Not too long after her second birthday, Annie ventured outside the safety of the colony's borders and somehow managed to cast a charm on a deadly beast that roamed the wilds, the Shadow Bear.
Yeah, the bear.
She named him Tibbers and kept him by her side all the time,
As
often
a doll.
spellbound as a doll to be carried around.
Yeah.
Since then, her arcane powers have only been growing, and because of that, Annie is one of the youngest champions to have ever stepped onto the fields of justice.
I think she's cursed to forever be a child. Because, like, you would think she would grow up by now after all these years.
Despite her
They should make a grown-up Annie skin at this point.
young age, her power is respected by everyone, and many city-states have tried to get Annie on their side. Since her introduction into the league, Annie has become good friends with another champion.
Wait, wasn't she like... What do you mean introduction to the league? Wasn't she like in beta? Pretty sure she was in beta. Like before the actual release. Like she was one of the original champions. Same with Amumu. So I guess it can also be considered an introduction, but it's like...
Amumu,
whatever.
the sad mummy. Amumu is perhaps one of the oddest champions that the league has ever seen. Even amongst visitors from other planes and other monstrosities, the little Yordle wrapped in bandages seems somehow out of place.
Is he a Yordle?
His past is a big mystery, unknown to anyone, including the mummy himself. All he remembers is waking up inside of a pyramid wrapped in bandages and filled with a deep sadness. He could not really explain his feelings, but he knew he was missing his parents. No matter what he did, he could never stop himself from crying.
Cho'Gath Eat World. Wait, isn't that a band? Not Cho'Gath, but like someone else Eat World? Jesse Eat World, something like that. Death Gab. S for Cork.
Or feeling sad in general.
S for Corky.
Eventually, after feeling completely hopeless, he decided to go out to discover the world that he had no memory of. In his journey, he travelled most of the southern Valoran, and even though it didn't help...
Evanescence. Oh my god, Evanescence, Evanescence, yo. Jesus Christ. They went all out with Some weird references.
Him remembering his past.
And
It helped him
evanescence.
realise what he had become. He was undead, but not derived from evil. He was just sad,
It was sad.
and everyone who encountered him shared his sadness. Amumu finally wandered.
I don't know why this skin, like this background, reminds me of Deadwind Pass. Not Deadwind Pass. Oh god, what's that? Dead Mines? Yeah, Dead Mines in World of Warcraft, like the first dungeon. Reminds me of like that area in Dead Mines where you go down, there's like 3 golems downstairs.
Past the Great Barrier and came upon the Institute of War, where he would meet one of the League's summoners. His story struck them as compelling, and perhaps because of their own curiosity, or perhaps because of the compassion they felt, Amumu was invited into the League.
No wonder he's sad. He broke Excalibur instead of pulling it out.
This would give the sad mummy
Little
a
Knight
purpose in
Amumu.
life and a home that he needed so much. His life has changed, he's made friends, but he still remains curious as to what his past holds, and has hope that someday, someone will help him rediscover it.
Still hasn't happened, I guess.
And that's all I have for you this time around. Let me know what
Alright.
you thought of the video by hitting that like button and leaving your feedback in the comments section below.
Boom.
There's no
Like.
reason to...
Alright, we're gonna go to part 10. It's gonna be Teemo and Tristana. Yeah, that's Annie and Amumu. It's very brief though. It doesn't really go into much detail about them. It's like it's such a brief introduction. I hoped for like an actual, like their actual background story, like something a bit longer. Like Annie I think deserves a bit more. Maybe later there'll be stories of like the characters' interactions with others, and this is just like a quick introduction to them. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see as we go on. Anyways, I'll see you in part 10.